Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Brought to you by Burkins Chevrolet. If you're from GA or FLA, you should be driving a Burkins Chevrolet. Come on.
Hit it.
Yeah, let's do a little 10-minute drill, sports concepts and rationalizations. Before you do, I'll let you know the drill poll question of the day presented by Lockett Law and DUI Criminal Defense. Know before you blow, 858-9818. Gators should schedule home and home with, throw a couple schools in there for you. Texas, USC, stay the same, or I slid in UCF. Who would you pick there, Jeff Prosser?
Of those four?
Yeah.
Right, Texas.
Texas, 31%, 170 votes at Dan Hicken. If you'd like to vote, you UCF fans, I see you voting there, 42%. 13% USC. 14% say stay the same. I would never want to stay the same. I'd love to schedule some.
Now, the home and home, that's not going to take away from Florida State. That's like state legislated,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, dropping FSU. No.
Yeah, that's got to be a UCF fan. I mean, there's no benefit to Florida playing home and home with UCF.
No.
None. Why would you play home and home with UCF when you can play home and home with Texas? And I would say the same thing to UCF, by the way.
Yeah.
But if UCF wants to play big boy football, here's an idea. Go get in the league, man. Go aggressively try and get into the Big 12. If you want to claim titles and play big teams, then go. That's what you have to do, though.
I said at the in the downtime, the pitching performances were impressive last night. There were a bunch of them, man. What did you think? What did you make of the World of Baseball last night with these guys taking no-hitters into the fifth, the sixth, the seventh?
It was all about one pitcher.
Syndergaard only gave up one hit. It was a home run.
Yeah, it was all about one pitcher for me, and that was how impressed Max Fried was for the Braves. But to your point, we talked about Aaron Rodgers last segment and his personality and his likability within his own team.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed Trevor Bauer threw 117 pitches, walked off the mound after 7 innings with a no-hitter, and no one even looked at him. You knew he's coming out. No high fives, no anything. So Bauer is probably underrated. It's that story that we had about how unlikable he is unfortunate for him because he's fantastic.
Lights out. The Dark Knight of Gotham, by the way, got rocked by the Rangers. So
yeah, I saw that, and the Cubs can't throw the ball over the plate. That was interesting to me. I mean,
it's a bold strategy, Cotton.
They walk so many people. It's unbelievable. So I was happy, though. I mean, for the baseball story for me is that the Braves.
Your bullpen's horrible, Beef.
That is correct.
The Braves rebounded from that sweep at Philly to sweep the Cubs.
And they've been horrible. I've never –
They were horrible last year.
I don't watch the Cubs like you do. But I'm telling you that every time I look up and Carl Edwards Jr. is pitching, disaster occurs. Yeah, every time. I've never seen him do well. Now, obviously, he must have done well somewhere along the line. But he is awful.
He was awful last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wheels fell off of him. He needs to take a bus ride over to Iowa for a little while.
And why did Darvish only pitch 4 innings, I see?
He couldn't get the ball over the plate.
Also, Joe said they had to protect his fragile feelings as well.
What did he have?
For some reason, ESPN's box score doesn't.
4 walks.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 4 innings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
He didn't really have it either.
Yeah.
Cubs are. I mean, I picked the. I'm amazed at what the Cubs have become. I mean, maybe look. I said this earlier, Hick. You want to know? You want some perspective?
Yeah.
So, the Braves start 0-3. I'm ready to end the season. The Cubs are 1-5. It's done. We're terrible. Throw gas on them. This is a lost year. It's the equivalent. 6 games into the Major League season is the equivalent of making the determination on your NFL season at halftime of the first game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much left to be played.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. I'm pretty clear with that one. So the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo and
MVP.
He certainly was last night, and he will be. They're going to be the top. They have home court if they can win throughout the playoffs. Yet for some reason, I don't find them legitimately a contender at all. I don't even though I think
aren't they more of a contender than the Raptors, who fizzle out every year?
I'm not talking. I said what I was going to finish is I could see them winning the East.
Oh,
I do not consider them to be some new challenge to this being the 1 seed and having to face the Warriors. To me, is the exact same as the Hawks being the 1 seed and having to face LeBron and the Cavs. So, percentage chance Milwaukee cuts down the Nets? I saw a mock draft yesterday, had the Bucks picking last, so someone thinks they can win it all. I
think they win the NBA championship?
Yeah.
No, I think Golden State does.
Yeah. Well, what percentage? I said. I didn't say. Do you think?
Oh.
Yeah. Do you give a chance? I mean, they would have home court. I mean, last year with home court, Houston went 7.
Yeah. I'm not sure they get out of the East. I'm not sold on them. I think there's a less. I think there's more of a chance that they don't get out of the East and they win the finals.
Fair enough. Who covers Giannis? Draymond? Durant? What do they do?
They just outscore them.
No, I'm just saying though, in the matchup, they have to match up with them. I'm just wondering who gets that assignment.
I think Golden State is righting the ship right now and putting themselves right in position to make their usual run. And the only team that can play with them is Houston. And the Rockets are playing fairly good basketball. I think the Rockets have an opportunity.
I think Toronto is laying in the weeds. They've not been playing all their players. They've just accepted that they're going to be second in the East. Does Toronto have a bit with Toronto? Yeah,
Toronto's fit, but has Toronto been a victim of LeBron, or have they lost to other teams in the last 4 or 5 years, guys? Has Toronto just been busted by LeBron? Like they got.
Well, there's a big difference though.
They got swept last year.
Kawhi though.
Yeah, they got swept last year.
And Siakam has developed. They're a much better team than they've been.
I
last couple
understand.
years. But yeah.
Well, what about and I don't think, as crazy as sounds, I don't think you could discount Philly or Boston.
I don't either.
Well,
No.
they've been eliminated by the Cavs the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what
2 straight sweeps.
the East needs is Milwaukee v. Philly or Boston, and Toronto v. Philly or Boston.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And get rid of 5, 6, 7, and 8.
And I think that'll happen because I don't think 5, 6, 7, or 8 are beating those 4 teams in a series.
But Boston, Indiana, they both have the same record. That'll be interesting.
And they're very good teams, but Toronto, I think, is just kind of laying in the weeds because they know they're not catching Milwaukee. They've quietly won 5 straight, and I'm telling you, this Siakam kid, Pascal Siakam, who developed this year, when you put him with Lowry and Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard and Serge Ibaka, I think Toronto is the biggest threat to Milwaukee in the East.
You do?
I do.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, they're the top 2 teams, so.
Well, that's fair. But Boston and Philly have, they've been on the growth curve for a couple of years too. So, I mean, Boston ran all the way to that East Finals and lost in 7.
AAF, rest in peace, Jeff Prosser. Lots of little sidebar stories about guys getting stuck with bills and such, and
what kind of bill? Because I got news for you. I ain't paying it. I don't know what bill they can stick me with, but if I'm a player,
I saw some guy get a $2,500 you got to pay for the hotel for some guys, or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to take a pass on that. Thank you, though.
And did I see the NFL said don't sign the AAF players?
Well, 2 have signed already.
Yeah, so I don't know what that meant. So.
I did. I will say this, just to put a wrap on the AF season and my involvement in it. I did identify the number 1 guy he signed yesterday, that receiver from the Johnny threw to, that Rashad Ross. So there'll be some more. There's some talent there, but it was run so poorly. I think what makes me feel worse about them is it just was such a bold-faced lie. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, that's kind of what Spurrier intimated.
That's so weak.
The idea was that we have enough money for 3 years.
Yeah, we're fine here. We're going to get
for
this
3
building.
years.
Right. We're going to
build it.
We're going to have in-game gambling. We're going to do all these things, But it's clear that American sports fan prefers football 1,000 times over. No, it's clear American sports fan prefers the NFL because, this is what we should always go back to when it comes to these startup leagues, and we should make sure that we say this next year when it's the XFL. If American sports viewers really loved football, you know what would be popular?
What?
The CFL.
Yeah.
It's on every summer. It'll get started here in a month, and there'll be 3 games a week on between NFL Network and other sports networks. So, and by the way, better talent than the AAF. So,
a couple examples. Gianni Paul tweets this out: play game, break arm, league ends. Now looking for an apartment. Need help to find an apartment. You can't make this bleep up. He has no team provided insurance. They basically said we're on our own. So also was kicked out of the apartment the Stallions set him up to live in, leaving him scrambling for a place to live. So
that's San Antonio.
They also said they had to pay for their own flights home when the league folded.
That is weak. Those billionaires,
Right.
that's so weak.
I mean, hey,
You ought to at least take care of every player. Give
Right.
them all a $2,000 stipend.
Hey, Carolina Hurricane owner
Yeah.
guy, you lost $70 million. Take $1 million, disperse it amongst
Correct.
the players.
Yeah. I mean, you ought to at least get them home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to leave a bad taste, by the way, if any of these players will be tempted into the XFL.
Memphis lineman Logan Tully-Tillman signed with Memphis in early March, was provided with a room he was told he wouldn't have to pay for. When the Express ceased operations, we were told the housing was free. I got charged $1,781 when I was only there less than 3 weeks, and a whole month only cost $700. No one's offered me any advice. They cut me off, and they say they can't do anything for me.
What's his name? Let's call that guy today and say, here's your advice. Middle finger that, buddy. I'm not paying this bill. Charge the trillionaires who botched this thing. Here's what also bothers me, Dan, how Bill Polian can act surprised. You're in charge of this thing, Chief.
Yeah, I don't like
I don't like this. Everyone looking like, ooh.
and I don't like how ESPN, well, we know Bill Polian, he's a man of integrity. Well, not if all these kids are getting stiffed with his money, dude.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Bill Polian got his check.
You guys were the brain trust. You and
Pretty sure that
Ebersol,
went
you
through.
guys, if you are going to put your name out there to be the feather, or look at us, then when it goes bad, guess what? You're the magnet.
Yeah.
So it bothers me that Polian and even the former players and Charlie Ebersol can't, they're confused?
Right.
You don't know how to, I mean, there's young couples that can balance a budget. Just, I don't know. These are bad taste for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt.
No question.
Jags didn't make a movie yesterday. It's just nothing, right? Right? I mean, we signed a guy from the Bucks. It doesn't start for the Bucks. I mean, this is just fortifying the competition on the
You guys
offensive
both
line.
like the Jets' new uniforms, right?
I'm fine with them. I don't care one way or
They
the
remind
other.
me of the old Jets uniform, so I don't.
The old Jets only had kind of that more of a flat green. This
I
is a
always like
shiny
the
green.
I always like the old traditional Jets uniforms.
Which is what they've been wearing.
right.
Yeah.
I don't like these new ones.
Yeah. No,
But whatever.
that makes sense. I like the traditional ones too.
It looks
You're not
like
a
to
fan
me.
of Gotham Green?
It looks like to me, and again, you guys are more uniform guys than me. It looks like to me, the AFL Jets had the old uniforms with the classic Jets logo on the helmet.
Yes.
And then they went to this Jets with the lettering JETS
early
on the
80s.
helmet, right?
Yes.
With the J that looked kind of like a jet or whatever.
Now it's like a hybrid.
Right. And then they went back to the old Jets
Right.
uniforms, which were great, and
Right.
I loved them.
And now
they're
this is
going back to the
Right, 'cause
old Jets uniforms.
This is retro again. Like
Yes.
Every 2 generations, you show them, the uniform of your childhood.
These
So
are different, though, Jeff. These say New York on the shirts.
Yes.
But the people like just a little bit younger than us never knew anything but Jets in those green uniforms.
It's amazing how, they have these white stripes across the shoulders, and it's amazing how, I want to know who the uniform designer guys are. You just sit there and toy with it, and then and how do you decide, hey, I like that?
Well, there's this. It seems that
Do you do any test runs on it?
It seems like the impetus in the NFL now is there to kind of get them all looking the same, but with different colors.
Is that what we're after?
I think so.
Hmm.
But
Anyway.
not exclusively.
That's what's trending,
Well,
Well, no, that's the 10-minute drill.
and that's
Also
what's
that.
the 10-minute drill.
It's kind of trending. No?
let's make someone's weekend, Dan.
Sports trending.
Yeah.
What do we got? What are we giving away?
One Lucky Guggen's going to score a 4-pack of tickets to the Jacksonville In-Water Boat Show. That's opened up yesterday, and it's going through Sunday at Metro Park. And they'll get a voucher for the 18-hole simulator with TrackMan and a beer at Coastal Indoor Golf.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So give me a number.
Let's do caller number 4.
Okay.
4. Caller number 4.
641-1010.